What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another episode of Career Mode. This is episode number 259, and today we do indeed have the FA Cup final here with Arsenal against Spurs, and of course this is the first of the final 3 episodes in the series. We have the Premier League final day to come after this one. We've got Cardiff away in the final game for us, and then we've got the Champions League final against PSG. That will be the final episode of the series, the big one, and hopefully we'll be able to win on all 3 occasions. Of course, right now we are going for that quadruple, and I know, as I mentioned before, we've already won the Community Shield, but we won the Capital One Cup, and we've also, we haven't won the Premier League yet, of course. We still need to make sure we get a point on the final day, and that should be enough for us, because I can't see West Brom scoring 13 goals on the final day. And, of course, the Champions League is the big one as well, the final episode of the series, and I probably will make a special series finale for this series as well. So the series is coming to its close now, and we start the first of the final 3 with this FA Cup final against Spurs. This is the team I'm going to run with. I don't feel the need to make too many changes. The team is fully fit. We've got 8 days. Well, it's not fully fit, but it's fit enough. We've got 8 days rest until the Cardiff game, so I think I'm going to run with this team, and it should be strong enough. So let's go with that. And this is actually the second attempt at this commentary and this game. I was just recording one, and I was 2-0 up at halftime, and I was doing really well. And then what did I realise? I forgot to press record on the Elgato. That's great, isn't it? It's just, there's so many, I make so many mistakes when I do YouTube. I was so annoyed when it happened. I was like, for goodness sake, I feel like I was answering the questions really well. I make so many mistakes doing YouTube. It's actually embarrassing. But anyway, hopefully we'll have the same scoreline at halftime. And hopefully the same result as well. You know, getting a quadruple and finishing the series off with a quadruple would be lovely, because this is, of course, the final season in this series. And, you know, I'm desperate for us to win Champions League. I really want to do that. It's our first Champions League with Arsenal, and hopefully we'll be able to come through on it. Of course, you know, facing PSG does make it even more special, so I'm really excited for that. But the quadruple has been the main aim for this series, so of course the Champions League falls in line with that. The quadruple is the main aim of the series, and if we can win, you know, all 4 of these trophies, Capital One Cup, Premier League, Champions League, and of course this, the FA Cup here, it will be awesome. You know, that would be an awesome way to end the series, so I'm really hoping we can do that. It's going to be difficult for us. I know it's going to be really difficult for us. I'm quite pessimistic coming into this game, even though we were 2-0 up in when I was just playing. I just feel like for some reason now I'm kind of annoyed and going to let the game slip a little bit. But I think it is achievable. I think this quadruple is achievable, and now when it matters most, we've really got to be switched on and get the job done. Still, this episode is going to be a live commentary, as you can tell by now. It's going to be a live Q&A, a live question and answer video. I get my questions from Twitter. You guys can ask me questions. You can follow me on Twitter at @Clanders. I'll always tweet out when I need questions, and you guys can just tweet at me and ask me questions and get involved in the series. So feel free to follow me on Twitter. It's @Clanders. There's a link to my Twitter in the description of every video as well. And yeah, you can get involved. We've got some good questions today. I'll try and answer as many as possible. As per usual, I can't answer them all though. I'll just try and get around to as many as possible. And if I didn't answer your question, please don't take it to heart. I just get way too many to answer. And yeah, got some good questions today. And also as well, I want to say a big thank you for all supporting the series. We are coming towards the end of the series now. We've only got 3 episodes to go, and I'll probably make a series finale, sort of special one-off video as well. And I just can't thank you enough for the support on this series. It's been awesome. Like the support on this series has been absolutely awesome. There's been you know several. Well, it's been not several. It's been loads. There's been so many episodes which have had like 1.5 thousand plus likes, which is an awful lot. And I can't say thank you enough for that. The support on the series has been awesome. And as per usual, if you can help the channel out by leaving a like, I really do appreciate that. But you don't have to if you don't want to. And the support you guys have shown me on this series has been fantastic. And it is a bit of a shame that it is coming to its end. It's been an awesome career mode. It's going to finish up with 261 episodes plus a series finale. That's mental when you think about how many different episodes that is, plus specials, plus you know, live episodes for the finals. It's been crazy, but it's been an awesome series, and I'm so glad you guys have enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed making it for you guys as well. And there you go. But also, I would like to say, just really briefly, I want to apologise for, well, you guys could probably have, you know, been able to tell during last week. You know, I only uploaded once on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and also Friday. and I want to say sorry for that. Obviously, you know, my channel is all about consistency and reliability, and I try and make sure I do 2 videos every day, and on those days I could only do 1 video on those days, and it's not something I should have to apologize for, but because, you know, of how, you know, consistent I usually am, I feel like apologizing anyway. And oh my goodness, what a double save by Gelios. And yeah, I was only able to upload once on those days, and I want to apologize for it. As you probably could have been able to tell by the tone of my voice and the descriptions, and I think I tweeted about it a couple of times as well. I had some personal stuff to deal with. I had some personal stuff affecting me, and it's still affecting me. But you know, I had a lot of personal stuff to deal with, and I wasn't able to make videos from last Friday onwards till today, which is Friday. I hadn't really been able to make any videos at all, and it's just let's not get into it. But it's been difficult. But yeah, I want to say sorry for basically only uploading once on those 4 days. I did try. It's not easy, but there you go. Anyway, let's get ourselves down to the questions, and let's see how many we can get through. And what a chance here is Chambers drills in the cross, and Niang could have made it 1-0, and Azil can't get there, and Townsend gets the ball away. So let's get down to the questions, and the first question comes from a guy who has no name, just a load of characters in his username, which is great. And he says, what besides YouTube is your job? YouTube is my job, and that's it. I'm not doing anything currently right now as a part-time job. YouTube is the only source of income I have. Whenever I mention YouTube, I always say it's a part-time job, so I can understand why I get quite a few questions about this. But basically, YouTube is a full-time job for hours, but a part-time salary, which is a shame because you'd like it to be the other way around, wouldn't you? But yeah, YouTube, it takes up the vast majority of my day. I could never have a part-time job and upload the amount I'm doing right now. You know, it's not feasible, you know. So YouTube is the only sort of job I have right now, and I call it a part-time job because of the salary I get for it. But yeah, it's the only job I'm doing right now. And there you go. And the next question comes from Corey Stanley, and he says, have you ever been interested in any other types of football, such as Aussie rules and NFL? I always felt like I could get involved in American football because I have quite a few people on my timeline that follow it, and they get really into it, and they really love it. And I know someone in my personal life that follows it as well. And I've always thought it could be a fun sport to get into. It does seem like a really cool sport, but I just can't get into it because it's just got way too many stoppages, and I don't know, like I just can't get into it. Like I really can't. It does seem quite a fun sport, but it's just way too slow for me. You know, like it's just, I don't know, like the stoppages, and then like the 10 seconds of play, and then stoppages again, and 10 seconds of play. I just can't get into it. I know I'm sounding really ignorant there, and I apologize for that, but I just can't get into the NFL. Like I would like to have it as a sport, but I just can't get into it. For me, like, sport is something which I still love, but I have lost a lot of interest in football. Like everyone knows, I've lost a lot of interest in football over the past 2 or 3 years. It's nowhere near as fun as it used to be for me. And I've sort of become way more interested in basketball over the past 2 years. I used to I've always followed basketball a little bit, but I've been a lot more interested in it over the past couple of years. And I don't think I'd have the time to get really involved in another sport. And for me, like it's all well and good following a sport and everything, but whenever I watch sport, I like the idea of knowing, like, not everything, but being really knowledgeable about the sport and like the players and the teams and so on. And I wouldn't have time to sort of know all the teams and know all the rosters, for example. Like with basketball and football, like I feel like I have a really good knowledge of the majority of the teams, the players and their rosters and so on and so forth. With any other sport, I just wouldn't have the time to get as clued up on it. Do you know what I mean? Like I wouldn't have the time to know like the whole roster of the Denver Broncos and the Dallas Cowboys and isn't there a team called the Dolphins or something? Like I wouldn't be able to get clued up as much as I am with football and basketball. And oh my god, if they scored there, I would have been so annoyed at myself. I wouldn't get enough time to get clued up on it. So that's one of the main reasons I just couldn't get into it. You know, it's always like whenever the Super Bowl's on, like everyone always seems to claim that they have an interest in the NFL for that one event. How did Lazari miskick the ball there? And I'd never want to be seen as that kind of not fair with a fan, but the guy that just pretends that he knows everything about the sport for that one event, but actually doesn't really know much at all. So yeah, I wouldn't have enough time to get involved in the sport, even though I'm sure if I gave it enough time, I could probably start to love it. And there you go. And the next question comes from, I'm annoyed that Lazari just miskicked that ball. ball because he was about to run clear one-on-one. Still a good chance here. Oh, come on, Ramsey. You've got to play a better free ball than that, and Yan could have been free. The next question comes from Craig, and it's so it's so difficult to answer questions whilst you're playing the game, because even just when you want to read the questions, because the screen is the other sort of direction to where my TV screen is, to my computer screen, it's always difficult to turn your head whilst you're playing the game. So you want to take the eyes off the screen, give the ball away, and give the opponents the ball back. But Craig asked me the next question, and he says, where are we? Is there anything that can make you quit YouTube? This is a good question. But I didn't, when I was answering a question on the previous attempts, I didn't do a very good job explaining it. So hopefully I'll do a better job here. Is there anything that can make me quit YouTube? Well, obviously, first and foremost, the salary. If YouTube didn't pay like it does, it doesn't really pay great right now, obviously, but if it didn't pay at all, for example, that would make me quit YouTube, because I just, it's not like I'll be able to survive earning no money, spending the majority of my days doing this. So obviously that would make me quit. But there are other things as well. I mean, I for example, the main reason I love doing YouTube is because it's so individual to you. You can make your channel however you want to make it. And for example, like tomorrow, if like I'm subscriber orientated, like I try and run my channel for the benefit of you guys, and I try and do what you guys want the vast majority of the time. But tomorrow, if I wanted to, I could just start doing vlogs and cooking tutorials and I don't even know other types of videos, DIY homemade tutorials. I don't know, like, I can do whatever I want tomorrow, like I really could. This is my channel and I can run it however I want. And come on, Chambers, oh, side netting. I can run this channel however I want. If I was forced to do my channel a specific type of way, which I didn't want to do it, I wouldn't want to do YouTube anymore. Like, for some reason, if someone said to me, hey man, did you hear you're not allowed to do career mode videos nowadays, and you're not allowed to do FIFA videos nowadays, you have to upload a different kind of game, I'd probably start uploading like NBA or Football Manager, but I know I wouldn't get as much interest in it. So for example, if someone said to me you can't upload FIFA anymore, or gaming, for example, if someone said to me you can't do gaming videos anymore due to licensing issues, you can't do gaming anymore on YouTube, I would probably quit YouTube, because I'm sure I could try and do vlogs, I could try and do something which you guys would be interested in, but I know I wouldn't do a very good job at it, and you guys would lose interest in the channel, because the main reason you guys are subscribed is because you love video games, I guess. So that would make me quit YouTube, because I just wouldn't be able to carry on getting the level of support that I get right now. I guess if I was forced to promote things I didn't believe in, that would certainly make me want to quit YouTube. One of the main reasons I do YouTube is because I like the idea of promoting sort of my morals and my beliefs. If I was forced to do adverse things and things I didn't really believe in, if I was forced to promote like organizations that I didn't sort of support, if you know what I mean, like for example, you guys know now that I started putting in charities and organizations I support in the description of my videos. Also, if you go to the about section on my channel, you'll see that it's just full of charities and organizations that I support, and that hopefully you guys, if you wanted to, could donate or just learn more about the charity and the organization. If I was forced to support charities and organizations that I didn't support, for example, for whatever reason, maybe I didn't agree with the messages they're sending, then I wouldn't want to do YouTube anymore, because I'd be forced to promote things which I don't believe in. So there are quite a few things that would make me want to quit YouTube. God, I think I've done an even worse job this time around trying to explain this question. There are quite a few things that would make me want to quit YouTube, and would force me to quit YouTube. But for the most part, YouTube is a unique thing for you. Your channel is run the way you want to do it. And even though I am subscriber orientated, I can do whatever I want with it. And that's the main reason I love it. And YouTube will never change. I don't think YouTube will ever change that. Like, I don't think YouTube, you may get licensing issues with certain games you can't upload or anything. But for the most part, the things I just mentioned right there, I can't see them coming to effect. Like, I can't, like for example, when I put adverts on my videos, I don't get a say in what the adverts are. But if I wanted to, if, for example, like adverts were getting shown for a company that I didn't, had different messages to the ones I want to, support, for example, I can sort of make a claim to not. Should I make subs? I feel like making a sub for Azil, try and get some more fresh legs in the center of the park. Should I bring on Nike check? I feel like bringing on the fresh legs in the middle of the park, just to freshen up a little bit, because Azil gets tired really easy, like really, really easy. So maybe I should bring on Nike check. No, I'll leave it for a bit. So yeah, like if I was forced to, let's just stop. You guys know what I'm trying to say here. I'm not doing a good job with this. It's always frustrating for me, because whenever I answer those sort of questions, they're the ones I want to answer, but because of personal reasons and because of the lack of understanding that some of you guys may have for for what I'm trying to say. I always get worried if I say something it might be taken the wrong way, so I'm always really careful with what I'm saying. I'd rather, you know, say it a certain way, but I don't want to upset people. But yeah, there's in basic terms, there's a few things that would make me want to quit YouTube, and they mainly are to do with losing my individuality and losing the messages I would want to show, and of course the money as well. Those are the main things that would make me want to quit YouTube, but I don't think any of those three things will happen, so we're all good right now. We'll stay on YouTube, shouldn't we? And there you go. God, I didn't even worse. You know, when I was answering that question in the previous attempt at this game, I did a really bad job at explaining it, and I was thinking, when I answer that question again, I've got to be more clear, I've got to be more concise. That was even worse. That was terrible. But hopefully you guys understood what I was trying to say. And there you go. And it's still 0-0. This is really frustrating. Haven't really been able to break through as many times as I would like to. I can see Spurs nicking a goal on a break. I really can. I can see them exploiting the fact that I'm trying to play a little bit of a higher line, try and push the fullbacks up a little bit. I can see Spurs exploiting that. Yedlin is such a quick fullback. If he gets forward a lot, we could be in some trouble. But let's see if we can go on the break here ourselves. Niang, oh, what a chance this could be. Not giving it to you, Lazari. It's Niang, still Niang, still Niang, still Niang, still Niang. Oh, that's a great challenge by Dyer. And Spurs all clear. Still 0-0. This is crazy. I usually find Spurs quite an easy team to open up and try and get more chances and score more goals. But in this game, it's not as straightforward as I was hoping, which is kind of frustrating. But there you go. And I'll get to the next question in just a moment's time as Ben Davies is on the ball. Let's try and get the ball dead first as it goes backwards towards. Was that Ronaldo? Oh, wow. Whoa, what's happened here? Where are the Spurs back line gone? What's happened to the Spurs back line? It's Lazari. Don't mess this one up. Surely 1-0. Oh, my goodness. Lazari. Why is his finishing so poor? Seriously, you are such a great finisher of the ball. He's got a hat-trick a few games ago. Come on, man, get it sorted. You got like 97 for finishing. This can't be happening, man. Seriously. Dear, oh dear. Anyway, I'll get to the next question in just a moment's time. I don't want to take my eyes off the screen because this is being played at quite a fast pace here. So I don't want to give my my opponents a chance to easily score a goal. I don't know what happened to the Spurs back line there. Lazari was all alone. Should have scored, but it's my fault for the poor finish. But even so, Lazari, ever since he came back from injury, he did score that hat-trick. But other than that, he's been quite subpar. Still, here's a good chance here as Niang cuts inside. What a chance for him by Niang. And another good save by Gelios. And the next question comes from Alex. And Alex says, are there any other means to contact you, like Kick Messenger or any other messenger apps? No, not really. Go on, Mario Williams, win that over the bar. I used to have a Kick Messenger, but I had to deactivate it because I just got way too many messages. I had it when I was a really small YouTuber, and it was kind of easy for me to keep up to date with messages here and there, even though I wouldn't be able to reply to everyone. But you know, as my channel's grown, like I remember, like as my channel was growing, I still had Kick. My phone was going off quite a lot, and I wasn't able to respond to the high volume of messages I was getting, and I was messaging some people and not messaging others, and I didn't want to be accused of favoritism. I didn't want people to say, hey, how comes you're messaging like these guys but not me? So I kind of just deactivated Kick, so I just couldn't keep up with the high volume of messages I was getting. But if you do want to contact me, just send me a message on YouTube. YouTube messages do suck, to be honest. I don't get to read that many, and some of them don't go through. But send me a message on YouTube regardless. Tweet me. I try and read and reply to as many tweets as possible. Come on, Azari, this time, surely. Yes, finally, 1-0. So I do try finally. So I do try and read and reply to as many tweets as possible. So tweet me if it's important enough. I'll certainly try and make time to reply to you. And yeah, tweet me, YouTube messages. Those are the two main ones. And there you go. It's difficult because it's really hard to keep up to date with what people are saying. Like it's hard enough to read comments nowadays, you know, because I get so many and I'm so busy and stuff. But if it's important enough, tweet me and send me a message on YouTube, and you know, tweet me a couple of times if you want, and I'll try and get around to you. And there you go. But it is quite hard. I think what's kind of upsetting for us as YouTubers is that a lot of our audience don't really fully understand how long it takes to actually go through messages and tweets and comments. And you know, the bigger the YouTuber you get, obviously the more tweets and comments and messages you will get, and the more interaction you'll get from your subscribers, which is great, but it just means inevitably you can't keep up with the high volume you get, you know. Like I see so many people talk about, you know, bigger YouTubers sort of forgetting where they came from because they're not replying to as many tweets and comments and so on. You got to understand, as they get, you know, bigger and they get more subscribers and more interactions, they can't possibly keep up with every single one that comes in. But I do try and read as much as possible, if nothing else. If I can't reply, I'll at least try and make the effort to read as much as possible. And if it is important, as I said, if you do send me a message and if you do send me a tweet as well and say, what it's about, if it is important to you, I'll try and get around to you. But it's never that easy. But there you go. And the next question comes from Connor. And Connor says, do you have any big plans for FIFA 16? Career mode teams, Ultimate Team Series, etc.? Yes, I do, but I always try and keep them close to my chest. And the reason being is quite simple. I like the element of surprise. I already have something planned for FIFA 16 already right now, like a new series I could possibly run. But I'm just going to keep it to myself because there's no point in giving it away now, because either you guys will hate it or you just won't enjoy it when it comes out, because you'll just, it just maybe won't live up to your expectations, for example. But yeah, I have a few things. That's just why the place. I have a few things I'm thinking of FIFA 16 right now. I'm someone who likes to plan things in advance. My new career mode, which will be starting in hopefully 7 to 10 days time, which of course you guys can still vote on with the poll which is going on right now. The new career mode that will start in hopefully 7 to 10 days time. I've been planning that career mode for the past 3 or 4 seasons in this career mode. I've been thinking of those teams for a while. I've been waiting for the opportunity to start putting a poll out. So I think about plans for new stuff a long time in advance, because I like to be prepared for when it comes about. So I've already got plans for FIFA 16, but I will keep them to myself, because obviously it's just best to leave you guys the element of surprise, I guess, for when it comes around, and not sort of just burn out the idea, I guess, and the excitement for it. So yeah, there's a few things, and it's difficult because there's so many YouTubers right now, and every man and his dog does YouTube. It's really difficult to come up with unique, fresh things. Like every game mode on FIFA is done to death, and like when people try and make unique series, sometimes they can be a real hit. Like Spencer's Wheeler Foot Tune, for example, is absolutely awesome. Like I love that series so much. London United was great as well. He's now started the Zarate Kid as well. Haven't actually been up to date with that series just yet, but I've heard good things about it. Spencer's just awesome, isn't he? Don't you guys just love Spencer? I love Spencer so much. It's difficult to come up with those unique sort of content, those unique sort of series ideas, because so many YouTubers are about nowadays, and you don't want to be accused of copying. You don't want to do the exact same stuff as other YouTubers. It's really difficult to get fresh and new exciting ideas, but it is hard. But if you put enough planning into it, I guess you can come up with a series idea. It does sound quite good, at least in principle. Like my Club and Country series, for example, I think that's quite a good idea, if I don't say so myself. I just didn't implement it very well, but it is difficult. But yeah, I've got a few things planned, and I hope there is something I have planned for FIFA 16, which I would hope to do. It'll be quite difficult to do, but I would hope you guys will enjoy it if I do get around to uploading it when FIFA 16 comes around. But of course, we're so long away from it. Don't forget, we're only in May right now. We've got so many months to go. And I'm starting to get excited about FIFA 16 though, like for what I can do on my channel with it. Like with FIFA 15, there always comes a point in the year when the old FIFA, or sorry, the current FIFA, I should say, sort of gets a bit old and gets a bit stale. And I feel like we're approaching that right now. I feel like we're going into the stage right now where FIFA 15 videos are getting quite stale, and we're already excited for FIFA 16, even though it's such a long way away. And it's hard to keep people motivated to watch the videos on my channel, But hopefully the series I do have planned for FIFA 16 will be quite good. Let's make a change. Let's take off Azil. Now he's really tired. Let's bring on Ike Check and Mulfap. And is that how you pronounce that? I always call him Lassie. Mulfap. That sounds about right. And should we make one more change? Maybe Welbeck for someone. Don't want to see one of these guys get injured. Lazari's had quite a poor game. Let's take him off for Welbeck. Even though Zari did score for us, he has quite a poor game, and there you go. Let's make that triple sub, and that should be the end of that. We've done well in this game. This hasn't gone according to plan. I was hoping for another couple of goals, and a chance that we carved out, but at least we're leading with 6 minutes to go, and we've contained Spurs quite well. I think that's the best way of putting it. We've contained Spurs quite well, and I think we are going to be full value for this win. So there you go. And the next question comes from Simon, and he says, "What was your very first gaming experience?" My very first gaming experience. Wow, I'm old. I'm very old. I'm 22 years old. Oh, don't tell me that's an injury for Niang. I know we made 3 subs. Can't be. I'm very old. I'm 22 years old. So I've played a lot of video games. I've played on a lot of different consoles. I've played a lot of different games, and I think my very first would have been the Sega. God, what was it called? The Sega. It's not. I don't think it's called a Dreamcast. I want to say it's called the Mega Drive or something. Anyway, my dad brought home like a Sega console. It was a black console, and it was just. I think back to it now, and I was amazed at the time as such a young child. But I think now, like, how basic it was, but it was awesome at the time. Yeah, I think the Sega Mega Drive, where it was called, was my first gaming experience. We had a Sonic game for this Sega thing. Come on, Yang, finish the game off. Oh, what a brief block that is. We had a Sonic game for this Sega Mega Drive, whatever. And I'm pretty sure it was one of only like 2 games we owned for it. But I absolutely loved it as a really, really young child. Like, I was just fascinated by it. But I also had a PS1 as well. We had a PS1. We had a chip PS1. Me and my brother and my dad would play on it. And Crash Bandicoot would have been one of the first games I ever played. It was really, really fun. Actua Club Soccer Edition. No, Actua Soccer Club Edition, that's it. And, God, what was the first FIFA I ever owned? 97 maybe? 99, I can't think. But yeah, we had PS1 and the Sega Mega Drive. Those were the first sort of gaming consoles I would have played. But I also played a lot of Pokemon when I was younger as well. I can't think of the very first gaming experience I had. Oh my goodness, Spurs have equalised in stoppage time. That's one of their first chances of the half. They chip it in, Dyer wins the header, and Christians can't get there. Can you believe that? I thought we were just going to ride out this game because they were barely threatening us. And Spurs are sending it to extra time. Just typical. That's why you just can't afford to switch off, you know. There are so many 90th minute goals in this year's FIFA. You just can't afford to switch off. That's my fault. I just was not up for that. I thought we were going to see out this game, and suddenly Spurs had the equaliser. But yeah, if nothing else, I can get around to a few more questions. But yeah, the Sega Mega Drive, the PS1, those were the sort of the first few sort of gaming sort of experiences I had. And it was interesting, you know, because when I was at such a young age, I loved gaming right from the get-go. Like, it was so, like, I was fascinated in gaming, like, right from a really early age. And obviously, I can't be throwing this game well with the last attack. I sort of went into my teens, like 11, 12, and obviously when I started my teens, 13, and I was still enthralled in video games. I absolutely love playing video games. And I always thought that I was always going to be really interested in video games. Like, I never thought there was going to be a time where I'd get disinterested. Look at these stats, man. Seriously, how do we not win this game? I always thought there was always going to be, I was always going to be interested in video games, and I'll never really become disinterested in them. But over the past few years, I have mentioned it a couple of times, I've really, really fell out of love with video games. And it's kind of sad because I don't get the same feeling anymore. Like, when I used to turn on, like, the PS2 and play FIFA or whatever, I used to, like, get so excited to play, and I just really enjoyed it. And, like, it was such a great haven for me to play for, like, an hour a day, for example. But now it's like, don't get me wrong, I still enjoy them, I guess. I still enjoy playing video games like Football Manager. I love Football Manager, and I think I always will. But it's not the same feeling for me anymore. It really isn't. And if I didn't do YouTube, I probably wouldn't actually play that many video games. Like, I would probably play like 1 hour a week. And that says a lot, you know, that says quite a lot. When you think about, I do 2 videos for YouTube a day, and I'm a gaming YouTuber, I play an awful lot of video games. To think if I didn't do YouTube anymore, I would only play like 1 or possibly 2 hours a week. And, you know, I'd probably even barely buy or even be interested in any video games other than possibly FIFA and Football Manager. It's quite sad to think about, you know. So when I actually read that question, I was thinking, you know, my first gaming experiences, I wasn't just thinking about the games I played, but how much enjoyment I got out of those games. It's a shame, you know. It's a shame to think that I've just become so disinterested in video games nowadays. But even so, it's it would have been, yeah, my first gaming experiences would have been something like the Sega Mega Drive, the PS1, and stuff like that. I think one of the first one of the first memories I can have of properly being in love with video games was when I was about, God, 8 years old maybe, something like that, sneaking downstairs whilst my parents were asleep with my brother to go and play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2. Like, we both snuck downstairs at a really, like, he would have been about, yeah, he would have been about 10 or 11, I was 8, and about that age, and we snuck downstairs whilst our parents were asleep to go and play Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 at like 6 in the morning, and just being really, really excited about that. You know, it was awesome, and creating your own skate park. I was never even into skating as a kid, but that's just how much I love video games. I didn't care what the sort of the format was. I just loved playing video games. But that was one of the first times I really like loved what I was doing with games, and there you go. And the next question comes from Didier, and he says, wow, what a name. And he says, would you like to still be doing YouTube in 5 years' time? And do you still see yourself doing it in 5 years' time? I'd like to be doing it. I love YouTube. As I mentioned earlier, I absolutely love YouTube. Oh my goodness, how did that go in? How did that go? Is Eric Dyer again? You must be joking me. It's the same guy with the same sort of loopy header. How did that go in? There was a man on the line and Chris Ince dived for it. How did they not keep that out? That was Lassie and Ince. How on earth did that sneak in? That is diabolical. I'm sorry, but I couldn't react to that. That had to be an AI clearance. And the goalkeeper, oh my goodness, what are you doing, Chris Ince? You're trying to claw the ball after it's crossed the line. Just dive for it naturally. And Lassie, you're the man on the line. You're supposed to stop that, man. Oh, that's just terrible. That is absolutely diabolical. Like, seriously, blame me for the first goal. Yeah, sure. That's when you got to expect the AI to actually do their job. That's terrible. That's terrible defending. And now we're down. Oh, my goodness. We were cruising to the victory. We're now 2-1 down in extra time. This is absolutely awful. Anyway, I would like to still be doing YouTube in 5 years' time because I love it so much. Like, I love what I do. It's awesome, and I can imagine, like, I certainly can imagine not doing YouTube in 5 years' time. I can certainly imagine myself doing, like, some kind of basic admin job, for example, but I certainly wouldn't want to. I would love to be doing YouTube in 5 years' time. I'd love to be doing YouTube in 10 years' time, you know. But obviously, it's never as simple as that. Is that a penalty? Yeah, there we go. He tripped him before he got the ball. So, yeah, I'd love to be doing YouTube in 5 years' time. I still would like to be doing it. But do I see myself still doing it? I'm not too sure. Like, I think I could still definitely do it. You can see him. Yeah, that's a definite penalty. I can still definitely see myself doing it for another year or two. But, you know, 5 years' time, that's a long time to still be doing YouTube. You know, I haven't even been doing YouTube for 5 years, you know. This is coming up to my 4th year now. Oh, this is such a pressure penalty. Come on, top left. That's usually the safety spot. Niang scores, gets in. Goalkeeper dives the right way, but can't keep it out. 2-2. Yeah, 5 years is a long time to still be doing YouTube in. I'll be 27 and I'll be going into my 28th year in 5 years' time. To still have the same amount of, you know, to still have enough people watching my videos, to still be entertaining enough in 5 years' time, I'm not sure I can do that. Like, I want to be able to, because I would love to still be doing YouTube whilst I'm 27 going into 28, but I don't know whether I'd be able to. It's difficult. Like, YouTube is such a competitive market. You have to always stay on top of your game. I don't know. Like, yeah, I would like to still be doing it in 5 years' time, but I'm not sure. I'm not too sure. I think in 2-3 years' time, I could still definitely be doing it, but in 5 years, that's so long. I'm not too sure, but there you go. Oh my goodness, I'm so relieved we're back on level terms, and this could be a great chance in Niang. Oh, just couldn't get himself away. I'm so relieved we're back on level terms. That second goal, maybe I saw it wrong, but that seemed like the goalkeeper should have saved that. Like, that header took a long time to cross the line. I really think that Ince should have got to that, and if nothing else, Lassie on the line should have at least got a touch on it. Come on, man, he mistimed that header so bad. This has got to be 3-2 though. Oh my goodness, Danny, you are not that guy if you finish like that. This is crazy. It's 2-2 going into the second half of extra time, but we've dominated for the most part. We let in 2 sloppy goals. This is not good. This game should have been done in 90 minutes. We were in cruise control. We let it slip. We've played so much better. How, with all the shots we've taken, with all the on-target shots, so many falling in the area or on the edge of the area, how have we not won this game by now? This is terrible. But anyway, 15 minutes of regulation, extra time, then we go to penalties if it's still level. So I would still fancy my chances on penalties. My record in shootouts is pretty good, to be fair, offline. But even so, I wanted to get this done in 90 minutes. This is terrible how I've thrown this away. But if nothing else, it's been a bit more exciting for you guys. And there you go. Anyway, get to the next question in just a moment's time. But Spurs keep launching the ball, like chipping it towards the back line that we've got right now. They're not sort of playing it on the ground. They just keep on putting it long and crossing the ball in. What are they doing? We should be able to deal with this. We got height in the box. We got Murray Williams, who's 6'3". Callum Chambers is 6 foot. Garber is actually, he's not very tall, is he? Ryan Sarr's only 6 foot. But even so, we should be able to deal with Spurs in the air, man. This is not good enough. And now Dyer again. He's on a hat trick. Eric Dyer is on a hat trick. I just realised that. This is just terrible. Now they want a free kick in a very, very dangerous position. So let's bring that wall forward. Try and at least buy ourselves some time, if nothing else, to get some men on the line. We snuck this wall quite forward. Oh, it's going to be laid off, isn't it? What a chance for Lamella. He shoots it and puts the ball just over the bar. Okay, next question comes from Waggy Max, and this is quite a good question to follow up with as well, because Didier just asked me, would I still like to be doing YouTube in 5 years' time, and do I still see myself doing it in 5 years' time? Waggy Max says, what will you do after YouTube? So that's quite a good follow-on question. After YouTube, if I was to end YouTube, for example, obviously, it's kind of difficult to answer that because you don't really know when the end is. It's like, you know, I haven't handed in my notice to YouTube, for example, so things just carry on. What a run by Chambers. What a run by Chambers. What a run by Chambers. Penalty, surely, ref. Yes, second penalty. I was going to say, what a run by Callum Chambers. That was fantastic. And a second penalty. So, yeah, I haven't really like handed in my notice for YouTube or anything, and I'm still going, you know, indefinitely on YouTube. So I don't really know what I'll do after YouTube, because I don't know how old I'll be, what my interests will be when it happens. That's a definite penalty there as Capu clips him. So it's kind of hard to answer that question, but I think I probably would return to work quite soonish. I don't see myself, like, as soon as YouTube starts failing, for example, I don't see myself, you know, being desperate to get it to work again and sort of starting it up again, for example. Get in Liang, 2 from 2, and we are now back in the lead. I don't see myself getting too desperate and like just exercising my channel to the point where it's just pointless. Like, for example, I was getting like 1,000 views or less a video and just doing it because, you know, I just couldn't give up on a dream, for example. Like, once I know my dreams of doing YouTube as a job are over, I'll probably just say, okay, it's done now. So what I'll do afterwards, I don't know, like, I should probably have a backup plan. I should probably have a backup plan, because there's no guarantee that I am going to succeed in what I'm doing right now for the indefinite future. But I don't know, I probably would return to doing some kind of admin work. You know, my last job was in an office. It was a hard job to sort of describe as a job role, but it was a lot of admin work to do anyway. And I'd probably just go back to an office and do some admin work or data entry or something similar like that. Like, I don't think I'd do anything too exciting, and I certainly don't think I'd exercise my channel to the point where it just becomes silly now. And there you go, because I like the idea of, like, if I was to ever like leave YouTube, for example, I like the idea of leaving it once I've, you know, made sure I've, you know, ended on a good note. Like, I wouldn't want to exercise it to the point where, like, I know one channel where the guy ran it, and he was doing quite well, and I'm not going to say the name, but he was doing quite well on this channel, and it was his, and he was oh my goodness, they scored another header. He was doing quite well, and basically the views started dropping a little bit, and he then decided to just put out really subpar content just to get the views. He started doing loads of misleading thumbnails, loads of misleading titles, and then he eventually sold his channel to some guy, and and it continued, and everyone was disliking the videos. I just can't imagine myself doing that, you know, like, I really don't. I have enough integrity and enough respect for what I've done with this channel to end it on a high note and not on a negative, just putting out really subpar content just for the views, just because, you know, it's easy, I guess, and there you go. But oh my goodness, seriously, I'm almost out of breath. What a ridiculous FA Cup final this has been. How on earth we've almost failed to win it, I have no idea. But we've got 4 minutes of stoppage time, which are almost over, and this will seal the game as Niang puts it in, makes it 4-2, and grabs his hat-trick against Spurs, and it's all over now, and thank goodness for that. Had I thrown this game away, leading the game until stoppage time, the final attack, Spurs scoring an equalizer, then scoring such a scrappy goal in extra time, I would have been so frustrated. But we pull it out the bag. Yes, we have 2 penalties. I think both of them were deserved, though. And we are going to claim the FA Cup. And this is the first of the final 3. So thank goodness for that. We're going to beat Spurs 4-2. And honestly, like, we deserve it. Like, we do deserve it. We've played much better. We've had far more shots, far more on target. And I think we've had more possession as well, haven't we? Have we had more possession? Yes, just about. And we're going to deserve this win. But even so, I just can't believe. Like, seriously, like, you just can't switch off on this game. There are so many. I don't know if you guys are the same. Maybe you can comment if you're the same as me. But I've seen so many 90th minute goals in this year's FIFA. It seems like it's such a more regular occurrence, you know. It's crazy. You just cannot afford to switch off in this game. But even so, we're going to get the win now. Spurs aren't going to score another 2 goals in stoppage time. They might get 1 here, though, as the shot comes in, and they have scored. Paulinho's got it, and it's 4-3. Oh my goodness, a 7-goal thriller in the FA Cup final, North London derby. Crazy. Paulinho scores. It's not going to matter now, though. We are going to claim the trophy. I think, again, Chris Ince could have been at fault for that. Like, seriously, he shoots, and I think Ince has got to stop that. I think Ince should have saved at least 2 of these goals. It was a good strike by Paulinho for power, but it's pretty much straight at him. I think he's got to save that one. Ince has not done his job as his cup goalkeeper in this game. And that's his tagline, the cup goalkeeper. He has not performed today. But even so, despite that, we are still going to get the win. And maybe I can have a breath in a minute, because this has been taking a lot out of me. Regardless, Arsenal 4, Spurs 3. And the referee should have blown for full time by now. And there we go. Final score, Arsenal 4, Spurs 3. And we get the job done in a very dramatic FA Cup final. A hat-trick for Niang. 2 from penalties. Lazari got our first goal. Spurs scored 3 times. 2 goals for Eric Dyer, who was on a hat-trick in extra time, which is crazy. And Paulinho grabbed the late consolation for them. But we deserved it. We definitely deserved it. We did edge it eventually into the scoreline, but in terms of the shots we had, we thoroughly deserved that win. We played much better. I think if Ince played better himself, we could have won that game a lot more comfortably. Gelios, I thought, was really good for Spurs in goal, and their backline was, we got a lot of chances, but we just didn't take them. I guess that was the best way of putting it. Regardless, we deserved the win, and the FA Cup is won. That means that we are now 2 down from 4. We are halfway there, 50% done. We've won the Capital One Cup, we've won the FA Cup, and to come, we've got the Premier League and the Champions League final as well. So we are 2 out of 4 right now, and in this final 3, we win at the first. So get in, Ramsey is going to lift the trophy, and I'm delighted with that. Like, I'm absolutely delighted with that, because, you know, had I thrown that away, that would have been one of my worst collapses, like, you know, to show this a final on YouTube ever, because that would have been disastrous. I was in control of that game and everything, and I'm actually annoyed at myself for letting that happen. So thankfully, we do get the win, and yeah, I'm really, really pleased. So, of course, the Premier League on the final day, I think I might have mentioned it at the start of the episode, but if you needed some reminding, on the final day, we just need to avoid defeat. If we can get a point, we will be crowned champions because of the goal difference swing. West Brom aren't going to score 13 or more goals on the final day, so a point will be enough for us. Obviously, the 3 will be enough for us as well. And if we lose, West Brom have got to win anyway. So West Brom have to win, and all we have to do is get a point, basically. So there you go. So, yeah, I can't believe we almost threw that away. We had just a bit more possession, far more shots, 12 shots on target compared to their 4. They scored 3 of those as well, and I think we did deserve that win, wouldn't you say so? So there you go. So that is going to end the episode, guys. So as always, a big thank you for watching the video. I really hope you have enjoyed it. If you have enjoyed today's episode of Career Mode, then please do leave a like, as it is much appreciated, and it really does help my channel out. And I'll be back for the next episode of Career Mode very soon, which will, of course, be the Premier League final day, and that will be against Cardiff in the next episode. So look forward to that, and I'll see you for that episode very soon.